Kuja tuende bwana. Ni wewe tunataka.
Kwa nini?
Tunataka huku ndani. Si umekuja kutuona?
Twende.
Twende.
Gavana ndani.
Well, those were the scenes today in the afternoon, right at the entrance of Parliament buildings, the entrance leading to the Senate. And of course, I'm here with the man right at the heart of this storm. That is Samburu Governor, Honorable Jonathan Lati Lelelit. Governor, very good evening to you. Many thanks for making time.
Good evening.
Now, we've seen the clip there, and I want you to paint a picture for us. What really happened, and how would you regard or describe what happened right at the entrance of Parliament buildings this afternoon?
How do I regard that? I think it is very dishonorable today. And I just want to correct you a little bit that what happened was not within the precincts of Parliament. It wasn't even the entrance of Parliament. It's way towards the road that I was making a press conference. So let me quickly give you a small brief on what happened. A few days ago, like 2 days ago, it was everywhere in the media that there is an arrest warrant for the governor of Samburu. I didn't get the information early because I was out of network, but when I came in the evening, I realized that I was being looked for. There is something called an arrest warrant that was there for me. So I immediately wrote, because I was in Samburu North, I wrote to the clerk and delivered the letter the following day that I will be coming to the Senate so that I can be shown why the arrest warrant was issued in the first place. So I came this afternoon, and I have to thank the clerk of the Senate and the senators who escorted me to his office. They welcomed me, and I gave him, we had a good discussion on why I didn't attend the Senate meetings and the basis of my arrest, and they were satisfied because the basis of my arrest was that I didn't attend CPAC meeting on the 26th.
Who was satisfied? Who exactly?
The clerk, and the Senate leadership when I was in the house. So we sat for a while, and I told them I had two meetings, two summons from the Senate on the same day, on the same hour, on this, the CPAC and the CPIC. So it was impossible, humanly, for me to comply to both. I had two options: either to not come at all to any of the, not to appear in any of the summons, or to appear in one, because one was in room 10, the other was in room 9, same day, same hour. That cannot happen to anybody.
Okay.
So today I came to explain why I didn't. What was the arrest warrant for? It's because I had not attended CPAC. It looked to me like whether I attended CPAC or CPIC, the warrant of arrest could still have been there because there is no way I can attend both. But let me give you the story of today. So we finished with the clerk, everything, and he understood that the mistake was on their side, because there is no way I would have attended two meetings at the same time, at the same hour. And, after a very good, fruitful meeting with the clerk, the last word he told me is that he's going to forward my submissions to the Senate committee. Then he will find a way forward, because he realized the mistake of inviting me into committees at the same time.
Okay.
Then I walked out of the Senate. When I was walking out, I actually saw that there was a condolences book for 3 people who had passed on One of them was the MP for Olkalau, who I served in Parliament. And I sat down and started to do condolence messages for 3 of them. I had no intention at all to address the press. I was just walking back so I can go home. But outside Parliament, outside the gates of Parliament, I was met by a huge media press outside Parliament.
Okay.
And they asked me that I must talk to them, and you know, the way the media does. And I said, okay, I have no problem. I can address you. You can tell me what the questions you have, and I'll be able to answer.
Okay.
Then when I was going through my press conference, somebody touched my back, and somehow, in a very rough way, like pushing me. I later realized that was Sifuna. Okay. So I asked them, why did you do that? I think you can see in the video.
Yes.
Then they say, we came here because we want to talk to you.
Okay.
I assumed, because I was a member of Parliament,
okay,
that maybe because I already done with the Senate,
okay,
and I was free to go, that they simply want to have a cup of tea with me, because we've done that before when I do attend send someone.
Fair enough. Let me just take you back a little bit. You said when you received summons to appear before 2 of the committees, and that is CPIC, which is chaired by Senator Osotsi, as well as the CPAC, which is chaired by Senator Moses Kajwang. Now, you said you decided you'll attend one of it, and in fact you wrote to the clerk. Later, no, you decided you'll attend one. My first question would be, did you write a letter telling them that you will attend CPIC and you will not attend CPAC, and probably indicate a day when you will be available to attend the CPAC meeting? That is the first question. And number 2, what criteria did you use to decide I will attend this one and I will skip this one?
Let me start with what happened. I got a letter, 2 letters from the same source. So the signature in both letters was from the clerk of the Senate, inviting me to attend 2 Senate committees at the same time, at the same day. You know, that cannot be a mere administrative oversight. If I had a letter from the clerk of the National Assembly and the clerk of the Senate, I can understand somehow why I'm getting 2 letters to attend these meetings at the same time, at the same day. But the fact that the letter, the originator of the letter, the source of the letter is one person, puzzled me. But then I had already dispensed, in my opinion, everything with the CPAC, because we had already submitted written responses. So that's the letter. We submitted written responses. So on the CPIC, I decided to do the CPIC, which had not already submitted written responses. But it was reasonable in the first place for me to be summoned to appear in 2 committees at the same time.
Do you have these letters written to you by both committees?
I do. I can get them right to you before I leave this.
Fair
You'll have both copies.
Okay.
One was in room 9, the other one was in room 10.
We'd love to see those copies.
And I keep on saying, this cannot be a mere administrative oversight. If I had 2 signatures in those letters, I can understand that maybe there is an oversight inviting me in both committees. They were signed by one human being, one source, and from the same person.
Okay, fair enough.
So, when I didn't attend CPAC, that is now the basis for this warrant of arrest. And I have to say, 29 governors didn't go to CPAC, but they only chose 2 to be arrested. And those 2, the person who was in a dilemma on which committee to attend, and the mistake is on the side of the Senate, is one to be arrested.
Okay.
In fact, I would be the one to be excused, because it is their mistake that they have invited me into committees. And let me tell you,
okay,
in the CPIC, I attended and sat 5 hours going through all documents on that day. By the time I got out of CPIC, Parliament was already closing, and there is no way I would have gone to another committee.
Governor,
I don't think even CPAC could have waited me for 5 hours. That is one. Plus, as counties, we have resources of staff. The entire staff that I was having,
Okay. Okay.
cannot be prepared to go to CPAC at the same day, same hour, and the governor, of course, has to be involved.
We're back with this conversation because, again, there's the concern that this is not the first time you're snubbing these summons by the CPAC committee, but also even the CPIC one that you attended. There are concerns about, the use of around CPIC, 68 million shillings that are in regards to, the water company and all. But we'll come back and address that issue after these.
When I attended CPIC,
we will address that, Governor.